Gunfire was heard during the raids, which happened as darkness fell in the town of Verviers. A third person has been arrested in the raids. Well, for more, we're joined now by Europe correspondent Philip Williams in London. So, Phil, take us through what has been made public about this operation.
Sure, Joe. About 4.5 hours ago, we got the first reports that that was a police operation. Police said they had information that a major terrorist attack was imminent and that they had to act. And so they'd moved in on this house where they'd had some recent returnees from Syria under observation since they'd had come back from those battlefields. And as they moved in, apparently, according to police, these men came out firing. They had automatic weapons, handguns, and there were explosions too. We don't know what was the origin of those explosions, and certainly fire afterwards. But when all that had calmed down, there were 2 dead. 2 of these suspects were dead and 1 was taken into custody. At the same time, there were also simultaneous raids on other locations around the country. Now, we weren't given any details of those particular raids because they said that's for operational reasons. They didn't want to give anyone heads up about what was happening, but we believe several of those raids are occurring in the Brussels area. So a very big night here in Europe, because this again reignites fears of terrorism, even though this time it does appear that no harm was done or done yet. It does raise those fears that attacks could happen at any time, anywhere, in any of these places throughout Europe.
And Phil, does it look like this happened in a suburban area of this town rather than some kind of industrial area where there may not have been that many people?
No, right in the heart of the city, in fact, just near the near the train station. And it's not a big place. It's only 50,000 people, so that would have been right in the heart of residential areas as well. And we believe it was a house, and as I say, it did catch fire. We believe at least part of it caught fire. So yes, obviously people reporting that they were terrified. That one woman said she had children. She was walking towards the station. She heard the loud explosions, didn't realise what was going on, then heard the gunfire and ran for cover. So absolute terror around there, and throughout the country now, a certain level of great discomfort, in fact, for all Belgians, realising that this looks like it can happen in their backyard, and coming just off the back, of course, of the shock of what happened in Paris last week. So everyone on edge, and as I say, not just in Belgium, not just in France, but everywhere in Europe.
And Phil, it looks like there was only a pretty brief media conference from officials there in Belgium, but has there been any official suggestion outside that there may have been some connection between these suspects and the Paris terrorists?
No, there hasn't, but that is being examined, and obviously people are very concerned if there is some sort of network in operation there. That's one of the that's one of the big question marks that the French intelligence services will have, that Interpol will have, that all the intelligence services throughout Europe will have. No, really, what that press conference really concentrated on was the really bare bones of what had happened. And Prosecutor Eric van der Script had this to say about it.
This group was about to commit terrorist attacks in Belgium. During the search warrant in Verviers, certain suspects immediately opened fire with automatic weapons at the special forces of the police. They opened fire during several minutes before being neutralized. 2 of the suspects were killed, a third one has been arrested. Luckily, during this intervention, no policeman was harmed, neither a civilian.
So one of the Belgian prosecutors there. So, Phil, you're based in the UK, in London. Taking into account what's happened in Paris over the last week or so, and now this incident in Belgium just in the last couple of hours, has there been any obvious increase in the security awareness in the UK over the past week or so?
Look, the only really tangible evidence of that is at the ports and at the airports. There has been beefed up security, we know that. But we're already at just one below the top level of security alert. And so far the government has resisted going to that next level, which would indicate that an attack was about to happen. But as I say, these things are constantly under review. There's a huge amount of information exchanged between the intelligence services because everyone's aware this is pan-national. This can happen anywhere at any time, and it's really got everybody worried about who's going to be next.
OK, Philip Williams reporting there from London.